The COVID-19 pandemic was especially tough for me. Despite being fortunate enough to never contract the virus myself, I don't think I was prepared to handle the isolation. I've made no secret of my history with mental health. I suffer from Asperger's syndrome, and only 2 years ago I was formally medically diagnosed with depression and anxiety despite suffering symptoms for over a decade. And if that wasn't bad enough, now comes a point in history where introversion wasn't a choice. It was a requirement to stay safe, possibly to stay alive. We're mostly out of the woods now, but I can't help but think that this entire decade so far, a period that has brought us so much despair, also entirely encapsulated something that gave me immense joy. Deep down, a story about finding what it means to belong, a story about finding your true passion in life and using that passion as a beacon of happiness, of hope, of love, and of connection. A story about never fearing what is over that horizon and taking on any and all challenges without fear. Ultimately, that's the story we've all been on these last 3 years, maybe even more, because that's also been the story at the center of Love Live School Idol Festival All-Stars. As much as we like to joke about the protagonist of the anime, Yu Takasaki, being us because she's implied to be the player character of All-Stars' story, deep down she truly does represent us, because she is the manifestation of our passion, our love, our admiration, our enjoyment of this silly little mobile gacha game, and in fact the whole Love Live franchise. Most people in the anime community take great joy in writing off idol anime as merch bait, designed to sell us a bigger product, or as lure for middle-aged Japanese men to fawn over underage girls, or simply as disposable, mass-produced garbage with no meaningful story or message to offer. Love Live, being the centerpiece of the idol genre and the franchise that propelled it into the mainstream, suffers the most from this criticism. In fact, Love Live is still blamed by some to this day for ruining the Gundam franchise, despite the fact that Gundam just released arguably its most compelling and best produced story in years. But, as one of those people who years ago could not be bothered with Love Live or idol anime in general, all it took was a single thought that maybe I should give the game a chance. I should give Love Live a chance. And granted, I was attracted to Daya and thought she was gorgeous, and I was compelled to pull for her in-game, and that's why I started playing. But before long, I realized the franchise was more than just pretty girls, and that especially came into the forefront with the introduction of the Perfect Dream Project, aka the girls of Nijigasaki High School Idol Club. I, like many others in the fandom, had their doubts when the girls were first unveiled. But with the introduction of a brand new mobile game that would not only showcase these girls but also incorporate many other gameplay elements the original School Idol Festival didn't, like more vibrant and stylized character art, a compelling overarching narrative bringing Muse, Aqua, and Nijigasaki together in one timeline, the opportunity to develop close bonds with each character through gameplay and their own individual stories, that was what was so special about All-Stars. It took what was so special about the original game and doubled down on it. It made the gacha experience more fun. It felt awesome when you see those rainbow lights in the cheering crowd of the Love Live stage, especially if that word START on the screen was shaded in rainbow colors. It means you've gotten lucky. And for me, for a long time, that's what this channel was. What my other YouTube channel was. My propensity for luck in this game's gacha and my developing love for the franchise and Nijigasaki in particular inspired me to name myself the Gatekeeper of Idol Hell. Not as in a gatekeeper of a fandom, I was literally manning the gates of the fiery pits of Idol Hell, letting people in, not being the true king of Idol Hell, because there are so many content creators that are way more creative, talented, and popular. I was still doing my job. That was my gimmick. When I shifted things up, I ditched that gimmick, along with all the videos that came with it, but that was because I was insecure about how badly I was doing on this website. I could talk all about my YouTube failures and the mental stress it has brought upon me, but that's a story for another day. Regardless, All-Stars was a daily grind for me, but a fun one that I found immense joy in logging into every day. And throughout that 3-year journey, I fell in love with each of the girls of Nijigasaki in different ways. Emma, who was the first girl I liked, was more than just what she looked like. She was a caring, nurturing, pure soul who loved making people happy. Setsuna, despite being the bane of my existence for a long time, for a very particular reason you'll see very, very soon, had a fiery passion in her heart, and we actually had the most in common, her being a dorky anime freak. Karen was pure beauty, but she was also a dork who slept in and got lost all the time. Kana was a pure sleepy fiend, but she cared so much for her family and worked her butt off to make life better for them. Kasumi was a conniving little gremlin who was the butt of the joke most of the time, but she was so cute and adorable that you couldn't help but love her. Shizuku had grace, she had poise, but she was also cute and pure in so many ways. Ayumu was sweet, passionate, and so easy to get along with, but if I'm being honest, it was when she went into pure yandere territory towards the end of the anime's first season that I realized, yeah, get you a girl like that. When the new girls were brought in, again, there were bumps along the road. Shioriko acted like a minor antagonist in the game, wanted nothing more than to bring the idol club down because she didn't see their value, or rather was hiding her true feelings. Yet, the anime made her a supportive, confident, and friendly girl, and that's what got you on board. Mia was cocky, brash, had a chip on her shoulder, but you could see where she was coming from, the pressure that was on her to be great. And when you see her in cutscenes, she shows her cute side, her playful side, her friendship with Rina being one of the most wholesome things in the entire game. Lanju, she grinded my gears for the longest time because of her antagonism in the game. It was the anime that brought me around to her. Then you realize when that arc of the game's story was over, the two narratives started to come together. She loves the idol club. She wanted nothing more than to be one of them, to be friends with them, to share her passion with them. Then we come to my two favorites. The two girls we've been closely following this channel for the last 2 months. Rina, I want nothing more than to protect this girl. She is adorable, pure, and shares a lot of my struggles. She has trouble connecting with people, yet she finds her own ways to break through that struggle. Originally, she was the one I was most hesitant about when she was revealed because of her gimmick. But then chapter 12 of her Bond story, when she showed her face for the first time, that was the moment. That was the moment you realized what she was, and that was the moment I realized this girl needed to be protected at all times. And then, there's I, my antithesis. Whereas I'm the depressed, lonely otaku who wears black and doesn't have energy for most things, I was the combo breaker. The cute and colourful Gyaru with boundless energy and a desire for adventure and fun. Her becoming my best girl was originally another gag on my channel, a gimmick that slowly became real, because she represented the kind of girls I like in anime. Yeah, she was a cute Gyaru, but she was the opposite of me, and my bleak world became a little less dark with her light. And that sounds really dumb and soppy and a little pathetic considering she's just a bunch of ones and zeros in a game and a mishmash of pencil and colour on paper, but you have to understand what life is like for me inside my head. You have to understand that it doesn't matter where you find those positive beacons in your life. They are still making you happy. They are still giving you joy. That's all that matters. And that's the thing this message is all about, making people happy. The player character in the game starts out by getting into idols because they see Muse and Aqua performing a joint live show on a big screen in the middle of the city and just being captivated by the passion, the positivity, the shine they bring forth. Yu falls in love with idols in the anime by seeing Setsuna perform randomly in the streets of Odaiba, and her fiery passion sets Yu's heart alight. At the end of the day, experiencing that light, that passion, that energy makes people happy. That's why Love Live and idol anime, and indeed idol culture in general, is as popular as it is. Because yeah, there's a lot of very real, very troubling downsides to the industry, as this season's Oshi no Ko will tell you, but it's there for a reason. To ignite, to electrify, to captivate, to entertain, to make people happy. I don't follow idols outside of anime. Happy. I don't follow idols outside of anime. I don't go to idol shows. I don't keep up with what idols are doing. I haven't even closely followed what the voice actresses of Love Live do outside the anime. All I know is that they are apparently cringy dorks in front of the camera, that Umi's voice actress is married to Kazuchika Okada, and that Shu Uchida is a cute Aussie who I might have a bit of a crush on. In fact, that's why I love it whenever Mia speaks English, because even though she's meant to be from New York, her Aussie comes out. But aside from that, all I have is the anime. All I had was these games. All I had was these characters. And that was fine for me. It was the characters that I fell in love with. It was the story I fell in love with. It was the game that made me happy. Which is why it was purely devastating to hear 2 months ago that following the closure of the original School Idol Festival, All Stars would also be ending its service. While the original game was around for close to a decade and had run its course, This game was only 3 years old, and was to play it cool when I'm recording videos because I'm a 31-year-old man who shouldn't be that attached to a silly little idol girl anime game. But then I think about all the things I just explained. All the moments I had in the game, all the moments I had on YouTube with that insane gacha luck, all the great songs I got to play, all the cute little moments I got to experience in the stories. And then you understand why, when I logged into the game this morning to get those last 500 stars and do that one final 10 pull, it broke me. Tears started to form. In fact, it happened again as I typed out this very sentence in the script, because it's not easy to let something that's been an almost daily constant in your life for so long go like that. Yeah, we have the new game School Idol Festival 2 to look forward to. That will incorporate all of the elements of both School Idol Festival Classic and All Stars into one enhanced experience, and also adds the 4th group in Lele into the fold, something that I'm looking forward to, because I didn't really get into the Superstar anime that much yet. And it will no doubt produce a lot of awesome content on this channel for what I hope is many years to come. But that still doesn't make it easy. That still doesn't make saying goodbye to something you love a walk in the park. It hurt when SIF Classic shut its doors despite its age because of all those moments, but this one will hurt much more because it introduced me to a cast of lovable characters that were also unique and special, that were more than just a collection of tropes designed to sing in a group. They were all individuals with their own individual goals. They were so much more interesting and quirky than what came before, and they made me realize what this franchise truly means to me now. And so we come back to that opening thought. Isolation was rough for me, and this game launched globally just before Australia and the world was plunged into a long, questionable darkness. For me, at least, it was the rainbow connection of Nijigasaki High School Idol Club, Love Live School Idol Festival All-Stars that made that darkness a little less dark and a lot more enjoyable. And despite the potential the future of this franchise will bring, there will always be a part of me that will deeply miss what we're about to lose today. And that kills me. I want to thank everybody who has stuck by me all this time. To all the people new to the channel, throughout July, you're going to see why I have this minor reputation as a bit of a gacha god, as I'm going to be scouring through my archive and remastering all of my old All-Stars videos and uploading them again for the world to see. While we wait for School Idol Festival 2's global release date, that's what waits in the pipeline. There are so many people on this website that are going to be in mourning today, and all I ask is that you throw them a bone and check out their content. They share the same love and passion for this game that I do. I want to thank Bushiroad, K-Lab Games, and the people behind Love Live for making something truly remarkable in this game. Despite what your higher-ups have done, you working behind the scenes to make this game what it has been over the last 3 years has not gone unnoticed. I want to thank the voice actresses and performers who bring these characters to life. Without you, none of this would exist at all. But most importantly, I want to thank Love Live School Idol Festival All-Stars for simply making me happy. Thank you for everything. I will always remember this experience and keep it close to my heart. And if you've stuck around this long in the video, thank you for doing so. Until the next video, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you soon. The Gatekeeper will ride off into the darkness until the day he is summoned back again. In the meantime, may the rainbow feathers keep shining on and traveling in the wind.